Smash.
Although the Hulk is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, there are several alternative interpretations of the character that can be found in Marvel Comics. These versions of the character have not yet been adapted for use in feature films. Some beings possess greater power than others, with a select few such as the Immortal Hulk, perhaps ranking among the most powerful beings in the whole Marvel Universe. Some of the other Marvel characters also possess incredible levels of strength. Since his first appearance in 1962, the Hulk has gone through a number of alterations, including not only a change in appearance, but also the acquisition of new abilities and guises in a variety of iterations of comic continuity. In the years that followed, further incarnations of the Hulk, such as the She-Hulk, surfaced to engage in battle with one another for the title of the most potent form of all of them. Hulk. Even without any enhancements to his abilities, the Hulk from the regularly occurring primary timeline remains one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. He has embodied a variety of Hulks, including the Grey Hulk, the Smart Hulk, Mr. Fix-It, the Merged Hulk, and Doc Green. On the other hand, when he is simply Hulk, he is still capable of sweeping the board against almost anybody. The fact that the Hulk not only possesses superhuman strength and skin that is resistant to damage from almost any weapon, but also possesses a healing power that is always active, meaning that if he sustains an injury, he will recover from it in a very short amount of time, elevating him to a tier above almost every other superhero in existence. Because his body does not produce tiredness toxins, he does not grow weary and may continue to battle indefinitely. In addition to this, if you damage him or make him furious, he just becomes stronger and stronger, and he is not constrained in any way. The Ultimate Hulk. In addition to making an appearance in the two Ultimate Avengers movies, Ultimate Hulk also made an appearance in the Ultimate Marvel comic books. Additionally, he served as a loose inspiration for the version that was used in the Marvel Cinematic Universe up to the release of Avengers: Age of Ultron. This Hulk has an incredible amount of power, much more so than his primary counterpart on Earth. The reason for this is that Hulk is able to recover control. In the time frame of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he is almost uncontrollable. He functions as a weapon of blunt force, which shield or the Ultimates direct towards a target and then let free on it. However, they are unable to rein him in, and he is capable of destroying just about anything that stands in his way. This Hulk is one that no one wants to go up against. Maestro. The episode Future Imperfect offered an intriguing peek at what the Hulk may develop into as he got older. After some time had gone, the Hulk lost his mind, killed every other superhero on the Earth, and established himself as the only monarch of the world. Because he has lived for such a long time, he is one of the most powerful Earthlings that has ever lived. In addition to this haughtiness and overconfidence, he is also arrogant. He was really exposed to a greater amount of gamma radiation, which led to an increase in his power. When the original Hulk from our era crossed into Maestro's universe, he was easily defeated by Maestro, who went on to win the battle. Due to the fact that he is fully mad, the limit on his Wrath power-up prevents him from achieving an endless amount of strength. Red Hulk. Thunderbolt Ross, also known as Red Hulk, was a man who detested the Hulk throughout his whole life, but as the ultimate act of retribution, he was transformed into one himself. On the other hand, it had the unintended consequence of making Ross worse, as the fury he felt over his new illness caused him to become perhaps the most obnoxious person in the whole of the Marvel Universe. Take a look at his take on the Thunderbolts to get an idea of the amount of damage he managed to do in the end. He had a great deal of power and was able to gain further strength by drawing power from the people and objects in his environment. This meant that he became stronger and stronger in battle, and by the time he reached this level, there was practically no one who could defeat him. The trouble is that there was a limit to this energy level, and when he reached a certain temperature, he burnt out and went back to being a human, which took him entirely out of the battle. Hulk: The End. It would seem that all of the most powerful incarnations of the Hulk, with the exception of one, are future variants from different timelines. The Hulk from the comic book titled Hulk: The End is the most formidable of these characters. There was no one left on Earth, since everyone had died while the mutant cockroaches were killing everything that was still in their way. This includes the Hawk, who was consumed by them on a regular basis, but he retained his healing abilities and continued to regenerate. It was just him who was still alive, and the reason for it was because, as he had always maintained, Hawk is the most powerful being that exists. Because his strength had developed to the point that he was practically immortal, the Hawk was always managed to live, no matter what bad things occurred to him. On the other hand, he felt alone and, as he said in the conclusion, chilly. World War Hawk. Hawk was completely devastated when the catastrophe in Sakaar claimed the lives of his wife and their unborn child. He was unaware that a close friend and ally had betrayed him in any way. He was under the impression that the superheroes of Earth, who had exiled him from the planet, had planted the bomb on the spacecraft, which led to the death of his loved ones. This prompted Hawk to go to Earth in search of revenge against members of the Illuminati, including Iron Man, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Professor X, Namor, and Black Bolt. There has never been a Hawk with such incredible strength. After suffering the most devastating loss of his life, he had lost everything, and as a result, he was filled with so much fury that his power levels soared to monster heights. The claws of the Wolverine were unable to cut through his hide. He easily won against Iron Man, Reed Richards, and Black Bolt. He didn't even break a sweat. It wasn't until he realized what had transpired on Sakaar that he finally allowed himself to concede defeat and accept his fate as a loser. If it weren't for it, he easily would have been able to wipe out the mightiest heroes on Earth. The Immortal Hawk. As a result of the fact that he is immune to death, the form of the Hawk known as the Immortal Hawk is considered to be one of the most powerful. The reborn Hawk learns that his strength, as well as the power of all gamma-irradiated entities like the She-Hulk, derives from an entity known as the One Below All. This discovery is the last consequence of the Devil Hawk persona's dominance over the other Hawk personas in Banner's head. This Hawk has the ability to regenerate its body very quickly, making it almost impossible for it to perish. It can come back to life even after suffering the most horrendous deaths. She-Hulk. It is possible that the savage She-Sheer-Hulk's strength and high power levels may be attributed to the fact that she comes from a powerful ancestry. She is the offspring of Hulk and Thundra, her parents. Because Thundra traveled across time and battled Hulk in the past, but ultimately became friends with him, the plot of the narrative raised some eyebrows. They then kissed, and she returned to her own timeline, where she spliced Lyra's DNA with the DNA she had obtained from Hulk in order to make it possible for Lyra to be born. There was one fundamental distinction that distinguished the savage She-Hulk from other Hulks. She does not get more powerful when she is furious. In fact, she's not even as powerful as she was when she was in her regular condition. Instead, she is able to transform into a far more powerful version of the Hulk by practicing a style of relaxation that she has developed, which allows her to attain a state of extreme calm. This makes her much more powerful than many of the other Hulk incarnations that currently exist. Duck Green. Hulk's life was on the verge of being ended when he was shot in the head by the Ancient Order of the Shield. He was fortunate in that he had connections in high places, and one of these acquaintances was a brilliant man called Tony Stark. It was determined that the only option to save Hulk's life was to employ the Extremis virus and administer it to him through injection, in an effort to repair the damage to his brain. It was successful, but there was a drawback to using it. The Hulk developed a whole new ego as a consequence of the side effect. He was now the Green Hulk with the brilliant intelligence of Bruce Banner, and he no longer needed to be concerned about exploding into a rage. In addition to that, he had a strange combination of insecurity and arrogance. He had the idea that he should be the only one with the abilities of a gamma-radiated superhero, so he developed a serum that would remove the abilities of any other Hulk. After this, he ultimately had the Extremis virus removed, and he was transformed back into the standard Green Hulk. The Worldbreaker Hulk. Not only is the Worldbreaker Hulk the most powerful incarnation of the Hulk, but it's also perhaps the most powerful creature in the whole cosmos. After being left behind on the planet Sakaar by the band of heroes known as the Illuminati, the Hulk eventually emerged from his slumber. The Hulk was able to establish alliances and ascend to the throne despite the fact that he was effectively banished from this location. The Hulk even developed the ability to channel his irrational rage, which proved to be of immense use to him. On the other hand, the fact that all of this was taken away from him drove him insane and compelled him to transform into the world-breaking Hulk. The World-Breaker Hulk is a far more evolved version of the Hulk that came before him. He is capable of active strategy and can even create his own body armor. This incarnation of the Hulk has the ability to move around the environment. Without further ado, you just saw the top 10 most powerful versions of the Hulk. Please let me know in the comments which one you consider to be the most powerful. So click the like button if you'd like to see more videos just like the one you're watching now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be waiting for you in the next video.